My name is Julie Peterson. I'm a pediatric audiologist at the Department of Speech, Language, and Hearing Sciences at the University of Arizona. Today I will be presenting Part 3 in a video series on childhood hearing loss. This educational training video is the third in a series of videos on early childhood hearing loss made possible by funding from the Arizona Department of Health Services. Thus far, this video series has provided an overview of the components of the Early Hearing Detection and Intervention, or EDI 136 plan, newborn hearing screenings, what happens after a baby refers, the comprehensive audiologic test battery, types and degrees of hearing loss, and the importance of early intervention by age 6 months. Research has shown that children with hearing loss can be closer in development to same-age peers if intervention begins by 6 months of age. Brain adaptation is greatest in young infants and children, and it is easier for a young brain versus an old brain to develop neural connections as a result of daily listening experiences. What are the steps for early intervention? Medical referrals, referrals to interdisciplinary team members, an early intervention plan, which includes family choices of communication options, audiologic early intervention services, and speech and language early intervention services, are all components of early intervention. Once a child is diagnosed with hearing loss, a referral is made to a pediatric ear, nose, and throat, or ENT physician. A medical evaluation to explore possible causes of hearing loss occurs. Discussion of and recommendations for appropriate medical intervention, including cochlear implantation if indicated, and medical clearance for hearing aids as required by federal law. Please note that in Arizona, any physician can provide the medical clearance for hearing aids. It does not have to be an ENT. Referral for genetic testing occurs. DNA testing and in-depth family case history can reveal the cause of non-syndromic and syndromic genetic hearing loss. Genetic counselors are part of the healthcare team, and they explain how conditions are passed down through a family and help families deal with feelings about how these conditions affect their family. Referrals to other disciplines are made as needed. Initial evaluations by a pediatric speech-language pathologist, physical therapist, occupational therapist, vision specialist, and/or developmental specialist who determine if other developmental areas need monitoring or early intervention. Early intervention. Recall that early intervention is a process of assessing, treating, and monitoring a child's development, or surveillance. An EI team is formed to educate and guide the family with the goal of minimizing developmental delays. Critical elements of EI include: the family chooses the initial mode of communication, intensive language stimulation is initiated, maximum audibility of speech is provided if spoken language is a family goal, and families are connected with peer support groups. A key element of EI is a comprehensive plan called the Individualized Family Service Plan, or IFSP. The family and a team of interdisciplinary service providers address the child's medical needs and speech, language, cognitive, and emotional development. Various questions and issues are discussed, and decisions are made based on the family's goals. This is called a family-centered approach. One of the most common questions that parents ask is, will my child be able to talk? The team provides education about hearing loss, realistic expectations, and different communication options. These may include cued speech, oral approaches, such as auditory oral and auditory verbal, sign language, and total communication. These options will be explored in a future video. If a family's goal for their child is to have oral communication, audiologic habilitation is initiated. This includes speech and language services with long-term goals such as age-appropriate listening skills, and audiologic services with the primary goal of optimizing the child's daily auditory experiences. Now let's consider audiologic habilitation. Audiologic services begin with educating the family about hearing loss and what it means for their child, and include discussing and selecting technology to improve audibility. The audiologist reviews the hearing test results and the impact of the hearing loss on speech audibility. The family's questions are answered. Technology options may include hearing aids, implantable devices including cochlear implants, and/or other technologies and devices such as FM systems and alerting devices. Hearing aid candidacy. According to the American Academy of Audiology, amplification with hearing instruments should be considered for a child who demonstrates a significant hearing loss, including sensorineural, conductive, or mixed hearing losses of any degree. In addition, the Pediatric Working Group states, if the clinical picture clearly suggests that a permanent, educationally significant hearing loss exists, and the family is motivated to proceed with habilitation, then the child is a candidate for amplification regardless of age. The goals of hearing aid use are improved audibility of speech, including own speech for speech and language development, and awareness of environmental sounds for safety and warning issues. However, hearing aids do not fix hearing and bring it back to normal, and modern hearing aids cannot completely eliminate all environmental noise and focus only on speech. Although there are limitations to what hearing aids can do, they are critical for optimizing audibility. Let's look now at the hearing aid fitting process. Here are the steps in the hearing aid fitting process: ear mold impressions, hearing aid selection, hearing aid fitting, hearing aid performance verification, hearing aid orientation, use and care, and follow-up visits. Step 1 are the ear mold impressions. Ear mold impressions, or models of the ear, are taken and custom-made ear molds are ordered for the child. Hearing aids are selected and ordered based on the child's hearing loss and family preferences. Hearing aids must be durable, flexible, reliable, to allow for adaptation as the child grows and more becomes known about their hearing loss. Once the custom ear molds arrive, they are fitted and the hearing aids are attached and then placed behind the child's ears. If the child has a unilateral hearing loss or in only one ear, only the affected ear is fitted with a hearing aid. The hearing aids are then turned on. Real ear measures are taken to ensure the best aided speech audibility for each child. A tiny microphone tube is placed in the ear canal and sound measurements are taken. These measurements allow the audiologist to accurately program the hearing aids based on the child's hearing loss. The family is familiarized with the hearing aids, their parts and use, and then practices putting them in and taking them out of the child's ears. Realistic expectations based on the child's hearing loss and development are then discussed. Follow-up visits are a critical component of success. Audiologic appointments are made for ongoing hearing evaluations to get an ever clearer picture of the child's hearing loss and to monitor for changes, and hearing aid monitoring and adjustments as more details about the child's hearing loss become known. Follow-up visits also provide ongoing support of the family, including re-instruction on hearing aid use and care, realistic expectations, review of their child's progress, and re-evaluation of audiologic goals. Recall that this is a continuous process. All right, let's look at some questions regarding the information we've just covered. Name 2 referrals besides the audiologist that may be made after a hearing loss is confirmed. Any or all of these referrals may be made to an ear, nose, and throat physician, genetics specialist, speech-language pathologist, physical therapist, occupational therapist, and vision specialist. What is the primary goal of hearing aid fitting? That is to optimize speech audibility. And finally, what is the purpose of real ear measures? The 2 primary purposes are to accurately program the hearing aids and to ensure the best aided speech audibility possible. Here are the links to the references and resources used in this presentation. They, along with this video, will be posted on the University of Arizona Department of Speech, Language, and Hearing Sciences website. Thank you.